Baba, sioni mwanga mahali popote. Yesu, nimefinywa sana. Oh, nataka hii sasa, na hofu ile haiji kesho. Baba, nipe uvumilivu, uvumilivu. Baba, nipe uvumilivu, 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 uvumilivu. Niweze kukungoja siku zangu zote, hata giza kiwe siku 40. Baba, Yesu, nipe uvumilivu, uvumilivu, uvumilivu. Yesu, nipe uvumilivu, uvumilivu, uvumilivu. Uchungu wa moyo ulinifanya nione umbali nami. Ukweli ni kuwa uliposema hutaniacha kamwe, hivyo tu ndivyo unavyotenda. Na hulali pia waniwaza. Baba, nipe uvumilivu, uvumilivu. Baba, nipe uvumilivu, uvumilivu. Siku zangu zote nikungoje. Uvumilivu, uvumilivu, uvumilivu. Yesu, nitakungoja Yesu, nitakungoja, 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 ninakungoja Yesu, ninakungoja, 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 nitakungoja Yesu, nitakungoja, 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 ninakungoja Yesu, ninakungoja, 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 nitakungoja Yesu, nitakungoja, nitakungoja, nitakungoja. Baba, nitakungoja, oh Yesu, nitakungoja Yesu, nitakungoja, 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 nitakungoja.
Hello there and karibu to another show hosted by iLife, our young adults ministry here at Mamlaka Hill Chapel, Ruaka. We continue with the same topic on love. So what has love got to do with it? So karibuni sana, send in your questions and comments. And I'd like now to introduce you to an amazing, amazing team of panelists. And they'll say their names and their statuses. So I'll start with the one who's
All right. Thank you so much, Charity, for having us this morning. Most people call me Kama around. I am dating. It's beautiful. I am dating one very beautiful girl. She's called Ainda Wageshi. And it's amazing. And let me say that I'm really glad to be here this morning.
Karibu.
All right.
Karibu.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Debbie Mate. I am married to Sami Mate, most handsome man in the room. I'm a mother of 4 boys, and I'm very happy to be here. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Silas Ndote. Married to Ida Ndote, and not Kama's Ida, for avoidance of doubt. Between Ida and I, we have 2 daughters, and I'm happy to be here.
Hello, hello. My name is Cynthia Nyokabi. You know me as Kafi. And currently, I am single. Mimi ni mtu. Thank you for having me, Charity.
Karibu.
Good morning. My name is Sami. Debbie across there, the most beautiful lady in the room, again, has been my dating partner for the last 20 years. Yeah.
I am Charity, and I am very, very, very single, and I'm happy to be with you here today. So last couple of weeks ago, we started on this show called QuaranTime Love. And it's very hard to maneuver this season, either as a guy or as a lady. So in your experience or in the circles that you're in, what would you advise either the guys or the ladies to be able either to create coincidences? Because now Corona has become an excuse for so many of us who are desiring, like for myself, a desire to be in a relationship. So we can start with Kama. Tell us.
All right, thank you. Quarantine and Corona. Just as you said, yes, it could be an excuse to me. There are those that feel that this is a ripe season that you're waiting for, just to shun away somebody or maybe to just be away from them. And I think, for me, or personally, what I think is that that is so wrong. If you're very intent about somebody, this would be even the best time for you to share because you have time, as much as you'll FaceTime and maybe not see each other physically. There's a lot that you can do together. You can call, you can text. That other person needs to feel that she's part of you, no matter you can meet physically. I think for me personally, I've been away, as most of you knew, but I'm back. And every other moment, I think she would know what I am doing, where I am going. We would share a lot, we would talk a lot, because that has been the case. And I feel that in our own self, we have grown. We have interacted more. We have talked a lot. We've shared a lot, you know, because you're just there, you're not busy at work, you're at home. So there's nothing much happening around. So the only person whom you're supposed to spend all that time with is the other person. So call them, check on them, talk, and share experiences. Tell them what has been, that day, what have you been doing? For me, I can say it has been a good time. I wouldn't say it was that moment where we were apart. Yes, we were physically, but communication is paramount even at this time in this season.
Nice. Considering that we have 3 people who are married here, what would you do, Silas, 15 years ago if Corona happened, you were single and ungefanya nini? Create coincidences? Ama ungefanya nini? And Sami will answer after.
15 years ago, I think, kusema ukweli, that question is fit for Sami, because I think I was in primary school. Anyway, I'm kidding.
Cheza kama wewe.
It's interesting that you say that. Just looking at this Corona season, I mean, for you to be found, I'll put that in quotes, or for you to find, there has to be some aspect of visibility, like there has to be contact. I believe that for 2 people to come to a place where they agree to date, there must have been some aspect of time. There's investment in time and investment in communication or information that slowly grows into more intimate conversations. I mean, I am almost at a loss to say with this, if it is around 15 years ago, how would I do it? Probably it will start with, if I was single, it will start with, by then I will have identified that I'm interested in a specific girl. So the barrier now is that since we can't have consistent face-to-face meeting, I think conversations over the phone would work. Conversations over, if we had Zoom back then perhaps I would do Zoom, but we didn't have Zoom. I mean, for us, dating was we meet at Kenya Cinema at 12, and at 12 you are there. If at 4 p.m. she's not there, you are still there waiting, hoping, you know, until it's dark, and then you realize that she's not coming. Then you can find a way but basically just finding ways of engaging in that communication. For me, that would work, like phone calls, consistent phone calls until your airtime runs out or something like that. Yeah.
Wow, Sammy.
Yeah, it's an interesting perspective because when we were dating, one of the things that I used to think wouldn't work is a long-distance relationship. I still think long-distance relationships are difficult. I know of people during this COVID season who are outside the Nairobi metropolitan area. One of them is in, the other one is out. And so they can't physically see each other. However, I also know some who've been very creative in trying to meet. Now, if this happened 15, let me say 20 years ago, number one, there were no mobile phones. And so it definitely would be a struggle. But I think it would probably reveal the character of your relationship, or at least of my relationship, okay? Now, it's my opinion that especially for Jamas, let me speak about Jamas, that war brings out the real quality or character of a man. And in this particular instance, the war can be called COVID, okay? Right? And so, for me, if I was in that COVID war 20 years from now, would I cower down and hide from the enemy? I don't think so. I feel I would take it on, and if I wanted to meet her, I'd probably find creative ways of doing so. Like Ndote said, we found ways of being with each other, whatever the circumstance was. And I still believe that relationships are healthier and better when people are physically together. But I do admit it, yes, it is difficult, especially if you're physically away from each other. But it wouldn't be any different if there was no COVID. Yeah, and so for me, I'd say it should not be an excuse, but it should be that thing that brings out the real quality, particularly of the man. Yeah.
Wow, amazing. I was just thinking, if, for example, the man is not able to create these opportunities, is there a way ladies can help? Maybe Debbie, then Kafi can answer later. What do you think can we help the man do we give them ideas? Tunawapea leakage? Tuwapea leakage ama tuwache wafanye kazi?
I think it really depends on where your relationship is at. You might be giving leakage to somebody who does not need the leakage, or who is not even interested in using the leakage. Yeah. You can't assume that the fact that he's not doing it, he wants to do it, or he needs to do it. He needs to take the initiative. Then there's also where you're in a steady going relationship, and you know where his heart is at. You know he's interested. Maybe his personality just does not allow him to do certain things. I think in that sense you can have the conversation. Don't give it as a leakage.
Yeah.
Just have an open conversation of
Can I ask, what do you mean by leakage? What are we talking about? A hint?
Like a hint, yes.
Okay.
Yes, ideas.
Giving the Jama an idea of what to do next in the relationship?
Yes.
Okay. Because, I mean, let me make it real. 20 years ago, if she did not give me a hint, we'd not be here together.
Praise the Lord for that.
And what was that hint? Some people consider that being too forward as a lady.
Yeah.
I don't think so, because let me be honest and say, Jamas are blind, okay? Especially good Jamas. Let me say good Jamas, right? Totally blind, okay? The Lord, you know, the Bible says, pray and watch, you know? You should open your eyes, but we sometimes find ourselves being very blind. And so it's helpful if the lady is aware and a bit more emotionally aware in that regard to maybe point him in the right direction, because that's what she really did. And for that hint was a very subtle hint. No strings attached. It was basically a card left on my, where it is that I used to put my guitar. And I found that card. What did it say, by the way? Do you remember? I can't even remember what it was that you said.
She has to say what it said. I need this
She has to
advice.
say it,
I can guess. From today henceforth, you are mine.
No, seriously, what did it say?
Cat, you mentioned that you're the cat. And
Right.
you
Yeah.
had something with kittens looking up to the Lord. Actually, they were looking up, and the message was, look up to the Lord.
Okay. You get. So you see, there's really no strings attached, and so when she dropped that hint, my eyes got opened. I looked up, and my eyes got open, literally. And I started noticing that there's a lady who seems to be interested in me, and I then took the initiative. And so sometimes it does take something like that. Yeah.
Kafi, how has that been for you?
Oh my goodness. Many guys say, okay, for me, I have been told that, not that that is too forward, but in addition to it being too forward, it should never happen. Because a guy has actually told me, then are you going to be the one to lead the relationship? Now that wewe ndio may initiate, so should I, what do we do? Will you be the one to say when we go for dates? Will you be the one to say when we 1, 2, 3? Will you be the one to whatever? So actually, it has happened to me. And Sasa, the way you're saying that good men don't see, Aki, that is such a true statement. Aki, they do. Aki, you can cook fish in front of a good man. Na hata hanusi, the way fish smells, Aki. You have to. Sasa, how do we, tufanye nini? What do we do? Because now we are being called leaders in the relationship. Such that for me, I have cowered down. I've cowered. Nimerudi nyuma. I have reclined. I'm like, okay, God, kwanza it has been said on this show that the man he was asleep. The man was asleep, and then God brought. So I'm saying, then God, you wake him up. Because I can't. If I wake him up, I'm the one who will lead the relationship. Help me.
Debbie.
I think just what I was saying earlier, it really depends on where the man is at. Because if a man is not interested, and then you make that initiative, you take the initiative, for him it will turn him off. But if somebody is really interested in you, you don't even need, all I did was a card. I didn't say, let's do dinner, I like you, I don't sleep without you. It was a card. And you got the message. Many times I think the reason people are turned off is because you might not be at the same place. Yeah. So if you're coming to me and I don't feel the same, then it's a turn off for me. But I think the first thing, like just what Sammy said, is emotional intelligence. Where is this person at? Yeah. Am I getting the right messages from him? Or am I going home and blowing up the high? I'm reading it as, oh, I love you, I want you, I need you. All he did was hi, you know.
Yeah.
He hugged you. Manze, that part of your body won't be washed for a week. Are you reading the right things for you to send the right hints? Yeah, that's what I would say about that.
Wow, okay. You mentioned something about personalities. And let me give you an experience where the person was not a communicator. And I kept mentioning it, and it felt like I was nagging them. But you're being very clear about the situation at hand. But this person says, weenda ufikirie, hii ni personality yangu, ujue kama utakaa na mimi.
Let me respond to that. Because I think people use that as excuses. Say, I'm not a talkative person. Here we're talking about communication. We're not talking about talking.
Yes.
Because you can communicate without talking. And it's my firm belief that if there's somebody that you really like and your heart is invested in that relationship, you will go out of your way to communicate to the person, whether it's in written material, whether it's just, I see you, and that that by itself will communicate to the other person that, hey, you know what? You really are reaching out to me. And so for me, I feel people use that as an excuse of saying, you know, I'm not the talkative person, so I can clam up and not say what's in my heart. Now, if I was to use my example, she's more talkative than I am.
That's not true.
Is that true, really?
But as you
Maybe
are,
I should stop talking now, isn't it? When I say that, I mean, she talks a little bit more about what's in her heart than I do, okay? I'll talk a lot about the weather and, you know, what's happening in Russia and the Olympics and things like those, you know? But I talk less about what's in my heart. And so there's a sense in which that could communicate that I'm not being vulnerable to her. But I didn't use that as an excuse. And so when we were dating, I think we should try this again. We did a lot of emails. I used to use yahoo.com, by the way. Can you believe it? It was that bad. I don't think Yahoo exists anymore. But I think we even printed some of the emails that we communicated, and yet we lived in the same city. And so she got a sense that I was reaching out to her, that even though we're not physically together, I was communicating. And so for me, I say personality is an excuse. The fact that you don't talk as much as the other person does not mean that you cannot communicate.
It also mean then this person has no teachable spirit, ideally.
maybe not. It could also mean that this person is actually not that interested. Yeah, it might just be that, yeah, I like you, but not like that. Yeah. You know, the thing also with ladies, sometimes the men send us messages, but because we're so stuck up on what we want, you do not want to believe that that's actually what he's saying. Yeah. For him, go think about what I've told you. Usini sumbue. Instead of going to think about what he's told you, you go and create a marriage. Even have the flower girls. You're just waiting for the pastor. Yeah. The guy moved on. So sometimes we are sent, do send messages that we refuse to hear. Yeah, and then we blame them for not saying it.
I think most men are, and I stand to be corrected, hopeless romantics. If a man really wants to pursue a lady, I personally, I wouldn't make such a statement. I would make that kind of a statement if I am no longer interested or I am not there. Because I need to be there. It makes me feel good when you respond to my advances. So if I'm telling you that's who I am, I'm keeping away. I mean, back in the days, people would say I'll be traveling just before Valentine's, or make a statement like I am busy, I am working. It's what Debbie is saying, that there's a communication being sent, but you're not seeing. It's only that perhaps somebody is not courageous enough to say, this is no longer working. They are not willing to come out clearly and say, and yeah, this one is no longer working. But somebody who really wants to pursue, a man who is pursuing a lady, hardly will that come out in terms of, this is who I am, I don't talk. You go and decide whether you want to deal with me or not.
So, sorry.
I think I want to support what Daughter is saying, by just saying in very simple terms that for a man to impress a lady whom he likes in his heart is very simple. And he goes out of his way to reach out to her. So it is, and she feels appreciated by the things this guy is able to do. So if I have you in my heart, I might not be such a communicator. I might not be that person who calls you all the time and tells you these beautiful words, you know, but I will go out of my way so that you may know that I really like you, and have some place in my heart, and it is not a struggle. And that moment, on the flip side, if you, as a guy, you're there and you know, you're struggling to impress a lady, struggling, she does not belong to you. Yes.
Hallelujah.
It is very true.
Yeah.
Because what I have realized and how I have come along, I've realized that you just need to be yourself. And when you are yourself, they see you.
Yeah, true.
And they like you for who you are.
Yeah.
So it's not about the things you do to impress them that will bring them to you or will make you likable. It's just for that person who you are. So that moment when you start doing things out of your way to impress a person, you can only do it as much.
Yeah.
It will only get to a point that you cannot manage to do that any longer. And so, she does not belong to you. Yes. So I think that for both the ladies and the guys,
he brings an interesting reality. And let me just sort of bring it home in the context of what will then happen if you are to fast forward that movie to past marriage and right into past your wedding, right into your marriage. Because what tends to happen is the same things that you struggle with in your relationship, in a dating relationship, will be actually magnified in your marriage. And so if you as a lady cannot live with the fact that he doesn't talk as much, he doesn't reach out, then it's most likely that'll be your biggest struggle also in marriage. And so just to put it in context is that for the lady, when you get to that point that you're uncomfortable about how much he is communicating, how much he's reaching out to you, just note that you are setting up yourself for a real battle in marriage. And so for me, I say it's important that you look at it from that perspective too, that if you can't take him or if she can't take you for who you are right now, it's most likely that, like he says, you're not meant for each other. Yeah.
Wow, thank you. So we'd like to go for a break, then we'll come in later with a few questions from our viewers. So see you in a bit, and karibuni sana.
Ewe Mungu wa majeshi, ninapenda kukaa nawe. Maskani zako zapendeza, nazikondea kwa shauku kubwa. Heri siku moja mbele zako kuliko siku elfu mbali na wewe. E Bwana, nguvu na msaada wangu, takupenda daima. Moyo na mwili wangu Bwana vyakulilia Mungu wangu, na heri nikose vyote Baba, lakini nikupate wewe. Heri siku moja mbele zako kuliko siku elfu mbali na wewe. E Bwana, nguvu na msaada wangu, takupenda daima. Heri siku moja mbele zako kuliko siku elfu mbali na wewe. E Bwana, nguvu na msaada wangu, takupenda daima. mbele yake Mwokozi wangu. Je, nisimame maskini, sina cha kumtumikia, cha kumpa sinacho. Nisimame mbele ya Mungu, sina kitu cha kumpa, bila hata na tunda moja. Je, nisimame hivyo? Siku nyingi nilizitupa, zingerudi siku zile, ningempa Mwokozi wangu, ningemtumikia. Nisimame mbele ya Mungu, sina kitu cha kumpa, bila hata na tunda moja. Je, nisimame hivyo? Ndugu yangu, amka leo, Bwana bado akuita. Kifoni hunayo nafasi ya kumtumikia. Utasimama mbele yake, huna kitu cha kumpa, bila.
Welcome back. We are happy to be here today again, and I'd like to give out some shout outs today for those ones who have joined us. Bavin Clinton, karibuni sana. Ntiari Irene, Gladys Njao, who was part of our committee a while back, Devi Nyoike, Juliet Nyakeo, Basil from PMCC, Jennifer Muthoni, Philip Mwaora, our pastor and reverend, Catherine Mwangi, Mboro Joe, and Aida Wangeshi. However, we have a question from Mboro Joe about hints. He's asking, on ladies giving hints is a good point. I'm afraid if a lady ends up hinting to a guy, then the guy doesn't act on the hint, that might take a huge toll on the lady. How do we go about that? I think this question goes to the dudes.
Let me start. By saying a hint, we're not saying go out and look for this encyclopedia of hints. No, we're not going to say go and read a book on hints and how to pick up guys. No, that's not what we mean. What I'm basically saying is that you're being real to yourself, okay? You're being real to who you are and to your personality. For example, if you liked something, you say it, okay? For example, if I was a lady and I came and saw, I like those shoes, and you say it because that's your personality. You are out there about it. That could come across as a hint, by the way. You understand? And so for me, I think what I'm basically saying, a hint is that action that you would take that would be real to your personality and that would communicate something to the other man. So I don't think it's a matter of coming up with these schemes in your mind that, hey, what can I do to send a message to the other guy? No. You're not concocting a scheme in your mind. True. It's basically saying that I have this feeling in my heart, or I feel this way about this guy, and it has prompted me to do this. And I feel this is a natural thing that I would do for myself. Now, if the guy does not reciprocate, like he said, too bad.
Jipange.
Songe,
Hapo hapo,
nitembee niende.
utembee tu. Yeah.
Kama injili.
Big steps, you know.
I mean, I echo what
Kubwa, kubwa, okay.
yeah, kanyage kubwa kubwa. I like what Sami has said. I mean, for me, what I'm picking, and especially when I talk to young people out there, is wanaogopa dating. There's a sudden fear of rejection.
A lot.
There's yani kuna woga fulani. Let me tell you, you shouldn't fear. Life in itself is risky. None of us will get out of this alive. So it's already risky in itself. So just put yourself out there. If you hint at a guy and he doesn't get it, hajakuona kama hajakuona yenyewe kusema ukweli. Because if it is me, I'm very visual. My wife saw me even before I saw her. Yeah?
Mnani kama bibi hapa.
My wife saw me before I saw her. And,
That was a hint.
Yes, and you know, I was somewhere giving a talk in a club, Rotaract Club, for clarity's sake, so that at least I don't have to explain further to Debbie after this. And she saw me, and she was like, you know, that guy seems like he's headed somewhere, you know. And she never said anything to me. She said to her friend, and this I came to know much later. I came to see her, to notice her, like 2 months thereafter. And my point is, a dude will pursue a chick who he has seen and has liked first. So if you really like a dude and he doesn't see you, hata ukipita mbele yake, nyuma yake, you throw in a card, chances are that kama jakona, and I like what you said, it's just move on, kanyaga. Yes, and it's the same thing also for dudes, because you can just move, you can be interested in a chick and the chick is not there. Atakuweka tu bros on.
Okay.
You know, so it's just important that you, and I like what Sammy said, that don't be too, or Debbie, don't be too forward, don't be, I don't know how to say it, but if he will see you, he will see. That's how I would say it. Kama atakuona na atakuwa interested. And then the interesting thing is, sometimes as a dude, and even when I was dating, I would see a chick that I would be interested in, but niko na woga. In terms of, naona, this one, ni kama class yake iko juu kidogo kunishinda, so how do I approach? Yeah. And I believe that ladies have got better intuition than men. That when they can tell, kajama, there's a way he's interested. So maybe that's a cue for you to try and hint. Maybe that's a cue for you. I don't know before that how that would work out. Maybe it's what now where the question is coming from.
It's very interesting, the kind of conversations and what I am hearing. But allow me to say that sometimes, yes, a lady will hint at you, and you might even notice the hint. And you will see that every move this chick makes is to, to take up some attention from you. And maybe you're not interested. You're not there. I think it is important that we just be authentic enough. Because what I've realized with guys, because I've been in that space, is that we tend to manipulate them. Because we know, yes, allow me to say that, because it's true. It's true. So now when you realize that actually this chick is interested in you, sometimes you play around with her. So you will lead her on, you will even use sweet words to her, not even realizing the kind of impact you're having in her, and it ends up very, very ugly. And it does not only affect her, it affects you too, because now you're left with other, a lot of wounds within yourselves. Yeah. So I think the best thing to do, kama sikufeel manze, wacha tu nikikuambia, let us see, ama, I should have the wisdom to see how I can, just allow you to know that maybe it is not the right time, or I am not there. But I just need to have a way of telling you, you know what, let's be friends and not anything beyond that, you know. And the chicks, they should accept that.
Kama, let me ask you, because I think there's something that you've said, which I would probably use a different synonym. You said authentic. I would probably even say Jamas need to be honest. Okay?
Yes.
Because one of the things that I try and teach my sons, I have 4 sons. My firstborn is 15 years old. And I always tell him that the moment you get exclusive with a girl, at the first opportunity you have, you need to tell her, what is this that we're doing? You understand? And so when it gets to that point where you take a hint and you think, all right, this girl likes me, but you're not too interested, but it seems to be doing something to you internally, and think I can sort of do this for some time and not be interested. I think it's the opportune moment then to define the relationship, to say, what is it that we're doing here? And I think for ladies, I'd also challenge you ladies that don't be strung along, okay? If you find that the Jama is not getting to that point, okay, I think it's honest enough to also ask, what is it that we're doing here? Yeah.
If I may, Sammy, it's a good thing that I've learned how you're raising your boys. I've got 2 daughters, but we'll take this out after this.
Silipi, I'm not boarding.
Yes.
Mtukumbuke.
The last session we had, I remember Abby said that and especially in a space, and basically to you, Kamau, in a space where it has not been explicitly said, because now there is a space where you've picked that a lady is interested in you, you string her along, but officially you have not declared that you are dating. So you go for coffee dates, you go for movie dates. And Abby said, at that point, when you want to ask, what is this that we are doing? Or if I want to tell, let's say, for example, that lady that I am not interested, what about the backlash of, but I haven't told you I'm interested? Yes, I was hinting, but I haven't told you that we are dating. Or that fluidity of when they're talking about ghosting, that I haven't said officially that we are dating, but I'm just playing along, because you raise a valid point.
Yeah.
So the wisdom is, or the question as far as the wisdom in terms of how do you tackle that space as a dude or a chick to make sure that you do not put yourself in a position, kind of ensnare yourself in a position to do that?
Okay. I think I'll just say, we all just need to stop playing. We need to stop the games.
Like adults.
Yeah. Why is it that I've come to you, I'm vulnerable, I've said what I feel, you take it and play around with it? It's not necessary. It's actually, and for it to be happening in the house of God, it's even sadder.
Yes.
Because this is a place we expect people to come and be honest, be genuine, be vulnerable. So this is difficult, but I'm trying. I like you, but I'm not ready. I like you, but I think you're way up there for me. Is it possible for this to happen? Or I'm not feeling you. I just don't like you like that. You're nice to hang out with, but I don't see you as a husband. You know, let's just stop playing games. Let's just be honest and say, hey, I'm seeing the way every time I pass your kimbiaring in front of me, see, one day I'll hit you with my car. See, you stop that tabia. Otherwise, it will be too expensive. Because every time I'm reversing, you're behind. When I want to go forward, let's just stop playing. I like you. Do you see this thing going anywhere? I like you too. Can we give it an eye here and see where it will go? Or you're a good girl, but not now. Not you. It will hurt, but you're better off dealing with that wound than somebody tagging along, and then one day you realize, he's getting married. And it's not to me. And he never said anything. Yeah. For me, I would say, let's just stop with the games. I like you. I like you. I like you. Not this year. Me, I'm not ready. I want 3 more years. Me, I think Nani is hotter than you.
Wow. So the other thing that has really come out is financial insecurity. And I'd like to start with the ladies. Are there moments where you've had that una feel uko broke hauko worthy enough to be in a relationship. Because I have, honestly, I have felt like, maybe I'm not ready financially to get into a relationship.
Connie, you're paying for the relationship.
Let me help her. Let me help her kidogo. Let me help her kidogo. In today's world, you know, he's working, I'm working.
Yes.
Okay? And if I don't feel financially stable enough, I am afraid I will come off as a leech. Because when I'm in need, I'm really in need. And you're my boyfriend, you're the first one I will tell.
Yeah.
And you having means will always want to come and sort me out. And then I will be like, I am your wife already. I'm already taking from your account. I'm already. So I don't want to be that to you. I think that's where she's coming from. Not to mean I'll be paying for the dates. No. But to say like for myself right now, I'm staying with I have family at home. We are 4 of us in the house. We are all adults. But currently I'm the only one working. So if kama chakula imeisha kwa nyumba and my boyfriend, if chakula inaisha very many times, na I always have to ask, Wani Debbie kama nitakuwa nimemsumbua sana. Do you need to start? Yeah. I mean, I think
sorry,
that's where
but
she's coming from. That he will need to always step in, and I'll feel like, okay, I'm using this guy.
Imagine I don't feel you guys.
Just idea.
In the sense that chakula imeisha, where is he coming in? What if he wasn't in the picture? What would happen? So I'm dating you. Yeah, so tutafute njia ingine, because why does it feel like I'm with you because I need you to help me when I'm stranded? You shouldn't be my to-go-to. I should be able to fix things without you. It's a good thing if I can draw you in, but you shouldn't be my to-go-to. If I'm in town and I'm stranded and I need an Uber, you shouldn't be my to-go-to, especially if I'm not married to you. Yeah. You should be, if I'm with you and you discover this chick, she's not calling an Uber, kuna shida. Alafu tasema, sina fare. Alafu atatuma fare. That's different than, so I'm stranded and you're always the one I'm calling. What if you are not there? I'd still fix it. Bado tungepata chakula. So when I'm dating you, me and you and finances, it should be on another level, not because I'm needy and I need you to sort me out. That's one, and that's why I'm saying I don't feel you. But then when we come back to the issue of financially secure as an individual, it's important to be financially secure. It is necessary to be financially secure. But don't peg your worth on finances, because life happens. I'll give you an example. While we've been married for those few years, twice, Sammy has gone through a season where he didn't have a job. I've been staying at home, taking care of the children. We were both stay-at-home parents at some point. There's a season when our kids would go to school and leave us at home. Then they'd come and find us at home, you know? But that meant there's no money coming in. So if my only reason for being with him is because he can sort out things financially, then at that point, issues become questionable. And the second time when it happened, it was even worse, because now we are homeschooling, so everyone is at home. So why am I with him? Why was he with me? Is it because I could take care of my finances? And what happens now when I'm not able to? Because life is not always on a straight line. You should be worth more than the fact that I can sort myself out financially. It's a very good thing, it's important, but your worth should not be in the fact that hata ukitaka loan naeza kupatia. Money should never be the thing that we base our relationships on. Yeah.
I hear you. Wacha nijitetee kidogo. Halafu tuta move on to other more serious matters. Wacha nijitetee kidogo. I don't mean that then I would be borrowing. It would be that situation of tuko kwa stage na unaona sisongi. And it would be often. Yani, are you getting me? It's not that I will borrow or that I will always call to borrow or ask. It's that you are in my life, you can see what's going on, and you, as the man, you will always feel like, okay, let me just step in. So I'm not borrowing.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I'm not
Let me
with you for your money.
Let me understand what you're trying to bring out. You're trying to say that you can't get into a relationship because you feel you are not financially ready to expose that part of you to him. Is that what I'm hearing you say, or I'm getting it wrong?
Because I feel like I will then be a sucker, a blood sucker. Gold. Sasa hata atafikiria mimi ni gold. Digana mimi sina
I think
ubaya.
there's some, from what he's trying to insinuate, he's trying to show that there is some kind of insecurity within yourself. That there is some part of you don't want to expose to that person. Yes, that moment when you're not vulnerable to them, there's some part of you that you're hiding. Because that is the situation you are at that moment. I think I would say that it is, let him be in the picture and see what is happening. If he's a person who cares about you, you will not ask for it. He will be ready to sort it out. I think at no given time in our lives shall we be complete. Either financially,
Wow, that's a good way to put
or
it.
even in these other aspects of life. Tutakuwa tu, there's something not, we are not complete yet. So even when we get into family life and we are married, they can tell us that hawajafika mahali wanasema, sasa tuko nayo yote. You know, they're still looking for more every day. And that person who will see you at that moment when you are struggling, I'm telling you, you will go miles together because you'll be ready to help each other and to sort each other out without anything pegged to the kind of assistance they offer. I would think about it as such.
I think the other angle also is to think about it as an individual. Why is it that I'm always in financial situations? Am I living beyond my means? Why is it that I'm always stuck? Food imeisha, I'm at the bus stop, there's no fare. Is there something that I need to do with what I have to make sure that I can stretch it further? Because then you might find that maybe I'm living way beyond my means to impress the person. Yeah, so it comes back to you as an individual. What do I need to do about my finances so that my coin is able to stretch and take care of me, whether or not there's someone else who can bail me out? Yeah.
I like what Debbie said the first time.
Not the second time.
No, the second time is good because that's more of stewardship, financial stewardship.
yes.
But there's a profound point that she said, and I think it might easily be missed. That I feel that recently there's a very thin line between dating and marriage, in this sense that people who are dating are behaving as if they are married.
Yeah. I agree.
You are not married. If you've been dating for 10 years, you are single. You're not married. You know, it doesn't matter. So there are certain responsibilities. Jamaa anaekewa, ama a lady feels like, you know, you want to behave as if you're married when you are dating. That's where the complication comes in. Even financially, that's where the complication comes in. Hence, the expectation that if I'm financing you, for lack of a better word, I also expect that you will behave in a manner
Accepting of the
yes. So people need to date and to see each other for, you know, who you are.
Yeah.
I know somebody who today is married, but when he met the girlfriend was bold enough to take him to a small cubicle where she was living with a mattress on the floor. In fact, that is the only scenario I know of a chick having taken a dude, mattress on the floor, you know, to visit the sister and they were sharing like 3 people, small house, cubicle. I have not seen that anywhere else. And I like what Kama said, sincerity and authenticity, being honest enough that this is who I am, you take me as I am. Because we pretend, and the challenge with social media is that I can create who I want to be, so that when I'm meeting somebody out there, they have this picture of ujamana do, and the moment it transitions to the marriage part, then you realize I come from a very needy place. That every month half of my salary goes back to my payrolls. I've got siblings in school. I've got this. I'm perpetually, you know. And I like what Reverend Moore also said the other time. That if a guy is living in a 3,000 SQ and is taking you for a 10,000 lunch at Sankara,
should be worried, bwana.
Fikiria.
It's a lie.
When it comes to, at least we've answered the one for the ladies. How about the dudes? How did you deal with it then, even as we come to our close? How did you deal with it, and how can you shake the heads of these men that we are telling financial security is not everything?
Wacha tuseme shida zetu. And I have friends, I mean male friends, who are friends, just friends, and I ask them, oh, so why are you not? And the most common excuse is, I'm not financially stable to date. And now here I am as the woman. So you are not financially stable. We are here. We are many wonderful, amazing single ladies, wonderful, amazing single men. We are all in iLife. By the way, iLife is for single people. But now the men are not talking to us because they are waiting on God to enable them to be financially stable.
They feel that they need to get to a certain level before they step up to the plate and say, hey, I'm ready. And let me first be soft on the men, and then I'll be hard on them, okay? By saying they're there because life has brought them there. A lot of the men that you're dealing with, that you're interacting with, have not been brought up in an environment where they were told that your worth as a man is not pegged on your financial possessions and your financial strength, okay? They were told, they've grown up knowing that. And so they've grown up in a society that tells them that as a dude, your worth becomes higher based on what you drive, what you own, and things like that, okay? And so they're there for a reason, right? And they find themselves at that point where they're struggling with their self-worth, okay? Now, so I'm being soft on them in that regard, but let me also be hard on them in this sense, that you don't have to be there. You don't have to be a circumstance of your upbringing, okay? And to the extent that you're now aware how you came to be where you are, you need to do something about it as a man, all right? And what we try and work with these jamas is to help them get their self-worth and say, hey, you know what? You are a jama, and what makes you a jama is what God sees in you, okay? And so God has made you in his image and likeness and has purposed you for this particular reason in this world, all right? And so irrespective of whether you own the world or not, this is what God has made you to be. And sort of just prop him up, and then to in a sense, in IT world, you say you bootstrap yourself. You now raise up yourself to the point where you say, I'm confident enough to talk to her irrespective of what my financial worth is, because I'm being honest. I've seen her, I like her, and I want to be authentic. Okay.
No,
It's hypothetical.
The liking part in my film, man.
It's hypothetical. Okay? I'm speaking for that Jamal who's supposed to be authentic. You get?
Okay.
All right? Sichezi kama mimi. Okay? You get? So he'll be then authentic enough to say, irrespective of what life has made me to be, I want to be honest, I like her. I can't buy her everything that she wants, but I think there's something in it for the both of us, and be honest and authentic in that regard, yeah.
I think for the dudes, I would say it's interesting. I mean, majority of the men, and especially guys who I would say my age mates, will not be married if finances were a consideration. The determinant, yes, if it was a key thing. I don't think if money was really it, my wife wouldn't have married me.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think so, because I didn't have it, and there are situations in our 8 years together that I have not even brought anything to the table. So it's not there at all. I don't see that being a hindrance to not dating at all. I think it's an excuse, and Mate has actually rightfully put it in terms of where they're coming from. In fact, recently a lady told me, Silas explained to me why people born between age year 85 to 90, we are having a lot of single ladies and a lot of men who can't just stand up and be bold enough to date.
Imagine mimi niko hapo.
you know that cluster.
Tuko hapo, tuko
And
hapo
we are
kwa
there.
thinking.
And I thought that would make a good thesis paper, a research paper, because I didn't have an answer for her honestly. But I just think it's Mate has kind of shed light on it. You just need to be authentic enough and start off with where you are at, because the truth is, if somebody does not like you for who you are, then just move on.
Yeah.
Move on. You don't have to die there. You don't have to, because you'll set yourself up, unfortunately. Be authentic, even within the church circles, within iLife. If you see a chick that you like, if you see a dude that, just be honest, be real. Say what you want, and then you build your life from there. In fact, those are the interesting ones, because situations will be like, let's say a lady tells me, I can't date a broke guy. So, yoni bebe na roho. I decide, from today henceforth, I'll look for money. So I work hard, I get a promotion, or my biz does well, I make all the money, I'm driving a big car. Then now I start attracting. And then now I start feeling like you want me for what I have.
Right, yeah.
So 40 years down the line, I'm still trying to look for, when I'm 40, I'm still trying to look for who is authentic.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then guys are saying, at 40 years, there's something very wrong with this guy if he never got married. You see now the loop we are putting ourselves in. Why not see each other the way God sees us? And I'll just say, go for it.
I think I would also want to tell the ladies, marry potential.
Yes.
Sometimes they might not be where they will be. Yes. What he hasn't mentioned is that when we started dating, he did not have a job. Nakumbuka? Momesahau.
Yeah, actually, remember, I'd actually lost my job that particular month, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But kulikuwa na potential. He had a guitar. So sometimes we dismiss people on where they are at now. Yeah. But I strongly believe as long as somebody is hardworking, they're determined, we all have potential to succeed. Yeah. Unless you can clearly see this one is lazy. But if the person is hardworking, they might not be where they want to be. Give them a chance. Yeah.
Oh, thank you, guys. Our time is up. Can you imagine? I feel like we have not covered everything. So I'll ask Sammy to give us a parting shot, but I want to say thank you for being here today, for honoring us today and gracing us with your presence. You guys have been amazing. So Sammy, just tell us something to encourage us.
I think what I'd probably say, and because we are doing this to help people have meaningful relationships, is number one to say that each of us has a God-shaped hole in us. And it's only God who can fill that hole. Yeah. And like Kama mentioned earlier, that we find our completeness not in each other, not in money, not in our possessions, not in our careers, but in God. And one of the things that I have discovered over the past 20 years is that, that when the rubber meets the road, that reality, that closeness to God is very important. And so I probably will leave you with just two verses that both in the book of John. One is in the book of 1 John, and then the other one is the book of John 14. So John 14:6, it talks about, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Okay? And then 1 John 4:7 and 8 talks about the nature of God, God being love. All right? And so if you understand that love, truth, life, and the way is defined in the personality of Jesus Christ, in the personality of God. And then it makes things so much easier then for us, and makes relationships so much easier for us. And so despite the challenges that we face, COVID or otherwise, that if we find our security in the person and the definition of Jesus Christ, I think things then become much, much easier. I wish there was more to flesh out that a little bit more, but that's probably what I would say for now.
Thank you so much. Again, thank you, Kama. Devi, Asante Sana, Silas Ndote, Kafi, and Sami. You guys have been amazing, and I thank God for you. So until next time, we hope to see you next time for our next session. God bless you, God keep you, and have a wonderful week. Bye.